Welcome back. By way of reintroduction, I am Dr. Shala Ezokoli. I am a retired internal medicine physician who is now a physician coach. I help busy, high achieving physicians defeat and prevent burnout, as well as create options for themselves and their lives outside of traditional medicine. And I do this through life, career, and business coaching. I also help authors, budding authors, self-publish their own books and create their book businesses from said books. I am a mindset coach for the Holist Weight Loss Program, and I help clients defeat negative mindsets that prevent them from reaching their weight loss goals and replace those negative mindsets with positive ones. So I'm a life coach through and through. And today I'm going to be talking about something that I call little girl energy or princess energy. It's like, what's princess energy? What's little girl energy? I've heard about this in different places, and for me, sort of bringing together what I know about this, what I've seen, what I've observed, and from some of the work I do with my clients, I've come up with these points and tips. So now, what is princess energy? What is little girl energy? Now, I'm using the word princess, but it doesn't apply only to women. So if you're a male, it could be prince energy or little boy energy. Basically what it is, have you noticed that when they call somebody a princess or a little prince, it's usually in the context of somebody who's throwing a tantrum because they can't get what they want, or a little kid, basically behaving like a toddler. Now, how does that apply to our lives? I'm glad you asked, even if you didn't. When I refer to princess energy or little girl energy, little boy energy, prince energy in this context, it's places that we show up in our lives that we don't act as though we are sovereign in these situations. We don't act like the king. The opposite of the princess energy or the prince energy is the king or the queen energy. Or if you don't like to use those phrases, maybe you feel they sound grandiose, adult energy. Instead of a little girl energy or little boy energy, adult energy. And like I said, it doesn't apply only to women, it applies to men also. Now, here is how to spot little girl energy or princess energy in your life. Number one, if you're looking to all and sundry for approval for the things you want to do. That's what little kids do, right? And that's why you have the princess. They throw a tantrum. I can't get what I want. And they just throw a tantrum. They're not trying to look for a solution. They're just throwing a tantrum and hoping someone will rescue them, right? So looking to all and sundry for approval for your own life decisions. Now, if you're really sovereign over your personal life, if you're not a kid and you're actually an adult, you're not, it behooves you to make your own decisions. Some people do not move past go until they've got approval from all and sundry, asking everybody, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Do whatever you want. You're an adult, right? And that's why I call this little girl energy, because when we're kids, we're always asking, mother, may I? Mother, may I? Mother, may I? Mother, may I? Right? Because we have to ask our parents to get approval for what we want, right? Or even if you take it to the context of royalty, a princess will ask the parents, the king and the queen, to be able to get what she wants. But not so if you're an adult, right? Don't run around looking for approval from all and sundry. Mother, may I? Mother, may I? Mother, may I? Remember when we were children, we all wanted to be adults so that we could do whatever we want. Well, you're an adult now. Do whatever you want. Okay? Now, some balance, right? I'm not saying don't have mentors or coaches or seek advice or counsel from the appropriate people. But for example, if you want to write a book, why are you asking advice from people who've never written a book before, who don't even know what it is, who probably don't even read books? But because, oh, they are my grandmother, they are my mother, they are my auntie, and they're close to me, not everybody gets equal weight in your life about everything, depending on what it is you want to do, right? So instead of running around seeking the approval of all and sundry, without which you can't move, sit down, decide what it is you want to do. I talked about this in a masterclass I did recently about your goals. Decide what it is you want to do, and then seek the appropriate advice for what it is you want to achieve. Oh, I want to start a business buying Bitcoins. Now I'm going to talk to my brother and my sister and everybody. Why? Unless your brother and sister know about selling Bitcoins or buying Bitcoins, there's no need to ask for their approval. Not everyone in your circle is supposed to give you approval to do things in your life. That is little girl energy. That is princess energy. Okay? Number 2, taking advice from the wrong people. It's just interesting how a lot of times people want to take advice from their worst critics. Why? And feel like they have to win the approval of their critics. And once they win the approval of their critics, like, yes, I feel I've got somewhere. No, that's why they're critics. They're not there for you to win their approval. They're just there to be ignored, quite frankly. Take advice from the right people. This is a spin-off from number 1. So don't go looking to everyone for approval. But at the same time, if you must take advice, if you must sit down and, talk things through with somebody, take advice from the right people. And it depends on what you're trying to do, right? If you want to build a business, there's some people you would take advice from and some people you won't. If you're trying to get a job, you're not going to take advice from people who don't have a job, right? Take advice from the right people if you must take advice. I don't know, it seems like there's something in us that wants our critics to approve of us, or the most critical people. It's like we feel like, oh, if the most critical person approves, then there's something there. Not necessarily. Make sure you take advice from the right people. Number 3, being afraid to do the unconventional is princess energy. Little girl energy, little boy energy, prince energy. If you're so afraid to do something different, how will you ever achieve something different? For example, many years ago, my children, I have 2 children, when they were younger, I didn't send them to preschool, much to the consternation of a lot of people around. Like, what? You're not sending your kids to preschool? I'm like, no. That doesn't work for our family. It just didn't work for our family for me to send our kids to preschool. And in fact, when it was time for kindergarten, I was tempted to keep my firstborn home for another year. But it was like, no, we've got to go. But they learned at home. Somehow, we managed to educate them well enough to where by the time they got to kindergarten, they were, in fact, my older one was bored because everything they were doing, she knew it already. And my younger one they had to keep taking her to first grade for reading because she could read. So, but to hear everyone talk about me not sending my kids to preschool, you would have thought I was, I said I was going to shoot all the puppies in the world. It's like, what? You're not sending her to preschool? Well, I looked at our family circumstances and realized that wasn't going to work. But here's the thing. There are a lot of people who, instead of making their own decisions on what's best for them, they go off of, the conventional thing is this, so I'm going to do it, whether it works or not. I'm going to do the conventional no matter what. And what happens that when you do that, you end up hating your life, because if you're doing what everybody is doing just because everybody is doing it, you're not going to be the one living with the consequences of what everyone says is okay to be done, right? And then you do it because everybody says, and now you're living with the consequences, and they're fine because they're living their own life. It's funny how a lot of people that we think we're seeking approval from, they don't care. They're busy living their own life. It's like, oh, what if this person says that? What if people think? They ain't thinking about you, honey. Everybody's tuned into one station, according to Michael Hyatt, WIIFM. What's in it for me? So a lot of times, things that we're thinking, oh, we're not going to do this because people, we're not going to do this because people, the people are not thinking about you. Make your own life. If you have to make an unconventional decision, do it and stand by it and live with the consequences of your decision. At least you'll know it's your decision and not a decision that was foisted on you by what you feel the conventional and the collective is. Number 4 sign of princess energy is not being in integrity. Now, of course, you want to walk your talk, right? Don't be a hypocrite or someone who says one thing and does another. But but the deeper meaning behind integrity is that your thoughts, feelings, and actions should be aligned. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions should be aligned. So, for example, let's say you're not really interested in climbing the corporate ladder, but because all your friends are doing it, you feel you have to do that. But deep inside, you're unhappy. So now you're climbing the corporate ladder, and then by the time you get up, you find that it's leaning against the wrong wall because you were not living a life of integrity. Maybe you didn't want to climb the corporate ladder. Maybe all you wanted to do was get up, go to work, see patients, and come home. And you are happy with that. But because all the people around you, oh my goodness, I'm feeling lazy. Was there something wrong with me? No. You won't be happy on a corporate ladder that you never wanted to climb in the first place because your thoughts, feelings, and actions are not aligned. Your thoughts are, I just want to go to work and come back. But your actions are, yes, let's climb this corporate ladder. Or I remember having this conversation about someone who said, everyone seems to be starting a business. And I don't want to start a business.